The drama! Guys, this show right here is genuine because we're going to really talk about it. We're going to give you the nitty gritty of what we're thinking. We want you guys to chime in because it actually is some drama. Guys, it's only week 5. Only 5 games have been played. But guess what? A coach has been fired.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, are we ready for the nitty gritty? The drama. Woo! So, we have Tua is back with the Miami Dolphins. With all the concussions, he went back. Probably did not going against doctor's orders. We don't know. How do you feel about it? And he looks pretty good. So what are our thoughts about Tua being back in action and playing and maybe suffering another concussion? Nicole, tell me what you think about this.
Well, I know I was going to say something about the Dolphins in a big blue wave jumping in the ocean, but yeah, Tua is going to have to hang in there. I think he's going to have to be very careful about, every play that he makes. I think this is it might steer the whole entire team into an offense-defense, if you know what I mean, in being, we're going to protect this guy at all costs, but we're still going to try and be offensive. Kind of like a lightning bolt. Yeah. So I think they do got a lot of work, but they might be change the offense a little bit in how they work it, because clearly it wasn't working maybe a little bit before in his protecting. But yeah, that's how I feel about it. Is I'm good. I'm happy that he's back, but as long as he's actually really healthy and they do maybe take some, maybe you could make it like, a cool thing, and maybe they can make some really unique, different plays that people don't think of. And this could be maybe a good thing for them. But that's my hope. That's how I feel. So, yeah.
All right, Delilah. We know we've been talking about this all season. What are your thoughts on Tua being back?
I feel like Nicole, I'm glad they're doing well, but I still believe that he needs to take care of his head and his body, because I understand pride. Everybody's prideful. Everybody has their own moments, but wear the guardian hat. Just wear the guardian cap. I do not see how that's going to take away from your game. And I'm glad the team is turning around. I'm glad they're, happy to have you back and the team is having success. But you're not going to have football your whole life. At some point, you're going to retire. And please watch videos of players that used to play back in the 70s and 80s and how they look and speak and talk today. Okay? Some of them can't even say their name. Some of them can't pronounce their names. I did a Diversity with Delilah years ago about Soul, which was a tragic story. We know that he passed away by self-inflicted harm. Mm-hmm. And when he opened his brain, it was riddled with CTE. Okay? Because sadly, there's no pre-diagnosis for CTE at this point in time. They can only know how bad it got after you're gone. And so again, please take care of your body and your brain. Your family's going to need you. Your family is going to need you. Mm-hmm. And just take care of your body. I'm not saying don't go and play, but you really throw on the guardian cap and take care of yourself. Okay? That's really how I feel.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly with both of what you ladies have said. There's an old saying, pride comes before the fall. And you really hope that his pride does not get in the way of something that could be extremely life-altering for him. And like Delilah, you said, just wear the cap, that it can help protect your head even further. There are some players in the league that do wear them during games to help protect them even further. And I know it's not the prettiest looking thing to wear and not the most masculine thing, but if it gives him that extra cushion that if he gets sacked or taken down, that he may not have to leave the game. He may not suffer that next concussion, that next mind-boggling injury that could do a lot of damage. You're only given one brain. You're only given one head. You can't just go out there and get a new one. So why not protect the one that God gave you and do the right thing? And I just pray he doesn't do anything that is going to, like you said, cause him to have horrible CTE, cause him to have the slurred speech, not be able to know who he is and say his name. I mean, I think of also Muhammad Ali and where his life was at the end of his life, at the end with his boxing career. And it's sad to watch these athletes that go through the head poundings and everything, what they become. So, yeah. So that's our first topic, ladies and gentlemen, about Tua. Next, DeAndre Hopkins came into the Kansas City Chiefs and made an amazing connection with Mahomes. Are we thinking they will be unstoppable now that they have found their missing receiving piece because they don't have Rashee Rice?
Yes, I actually knew that DeAndre Hopkins was in the right place. It just took a while for them. Remember, he literally just got there. I didn't think that they were going to connect right away, but now that they are, oh yeah, that's going to be, it takes the pressure off Kelsey because he always acted as the wide receiver all the time, even though that was never really his role, right? And so that takes pressure off Kelsey. But it gives Mahomes another weapon, right? Is he going to go to DeAndre or is he going to go to Kelsey? And so I think that that's going to be, they're going to be almost unstoppable, which goes back to, Nicole's question in the beginning. Will they have a near perfect season? I do believe they'll have a near perfect season. I just don't think it'll go 18-0 because there's 18 games now. Am I crazy? Yep. So, so I think we're going to see more of this magic. Absolutely. Now that they are meshing, they're not. Mahomes not going to pass that up. Absolutely not.
No. Nicole, what are your thoughts on DeAndre Hopkins now being in Kansas City with Mahomes?
I mean, so it's been quite some time since he's been drafted, you know what I mean? So 2013, we're talking. So this man's is going on a good career, and I think he's finally took him a little bit here and there with the Cardinals and whatnot and Houston, but I think he finally settled in a little cute little just a little cute nuzzle of Mahomes' little chest side of emotional support. So I think I just see them just cold in the winter. But I do really think that with that career, he has the route running. He knows his routes very, very well. And who is one of the best to throw route runs to is Mahomes. So it's no wonder I think that they are just, very mutual. And they got along great, and I'm quite happy. I wish the same would be for our team, but it's not. So be grateful, Mahomes and the Chiefs. You guys just keep getting good players, and that's what I'm saying is they might be. Perfect season. I don't know, but it looks like it's pretty good.
I agree. I think DeAndre was a great addition. He seems to have learned the offense and the routes and everything really, really well. He's fast. He's agile. He can get into those seams in that double coverage. I watched one of his touchdowns in the end zone, and he literally had two defenders on him, and Mahomes perfectly threads the ball through the defenders, and it landed right in his hands. And I'm like, That was impressive. That's what Patrick Mahomes can do, even though everyone sometimes dogs on him and thinks that he's not having the most extremely great season, because I covered that last week, but he seems to find a way, and adding this piece is just going to make them even more explosive going into the postseason. I think it's one of the pieces they needed in their offense, and Mahomes and him seem to be clicking. And I think, like Delilah said, it will give Travis Kelce the ability to play that more of that tight end role that he needs to be playing and make the catches that he needs to be making. So kudos to the Hunt family for going out and getting him and bringing him in. And wow, what a debut he had for them. He had several touchdowns, really good key plays that gave them first downs when it was 3rd and long. It's looking pretty good in Kansas City. So with that, we have one last topic for drama tonight, and it's all about coaching. Who will stay? Who will go? Who's on the chopping block? Who are we ready to fire next? She has her very own Mike McCarthy on here of the Dallas Cowboys, Doug Peterson of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Is this deserved? Are these two coaches, or do you have anyone else that you may want to put on the chopping block this season? Hey, Delilah, Doug Peterson, Mike McCarthy, are they worthy of being on this chopping block? Or do you have someone else you think should be? Let me know.
Of course I do. You know I do. You know I do. You know I want to add Matt Eberflus to it.
I thought so.
I'm surprised that Janae put her Cowboys coach in there, but I don't blame her. I feel her. I feel you, girl. I feel you. I feel you. I empathize about that. So, but it does make sense because they gotta go. They haven't been able to do anything. Like, they haven't been able to move the needle. So it makes sense to me. It makes sense to me. They haven't been able to move the needles, regardless of what they give them, regardless of because they do give them some good players. That's what's really sad, because if you look at these 3 teams, they shouldn't be losing the way they're losing. And in the way that they are losing, right? Because they do have the quality receivers, they have quality running back, you know what I mean? And so for you not to be winning games, it makes no sense. And it's got to go to leadership. Where else do you place it?
Exactly. You got to go from the top down. So, Nicole, should these coaches be on the chopping block? And do you have someone else that you would add to this list?
Well, I was going to say Dennis Allen, but we don't got him no more.
No, I don't.
I'm just saying, something to compare that to, okay? We're on a 7-loss streak, and just now we decided to fire him, and Mr. Mike McCarthy is still there, not fired. So, I don't know. I do think that, like, yes, Mrs. Benson, the owner of the Saints, she was pretty good and lenient with giving him all the chances, but, like, I mean, come on, Jerry Jones, let the guy loose. I do think that maybe Mike McCarthy has more lives than a cat in the NFL with the Dallas Cowboys. I hate to say it, but I do really think that, like, if something's not right, and I know there's a bunch of moving pieces in Dak and stuff, but there has been a lot of calls with Mr. McCarthy, and I hate to say it, but that's the truth. I don't know. That's how I feel. Sorry.
I definitely think that Jerry Jones is a very stubborn owner. He does not like to make moves. He holds on to players and coaches for dear life. It seems like it's a life raft that he just doesn't want to say, I'm going to let go and let this relationship die and send it out to the sea like they did Leonardo DiCaprio in the Titanic. So it's time, Jerry. It's time. Mike McCarthy is not doing the job for you. It's time to say bye-bye in Dallas. Let someone else new come in and see if that ship can start sailing instead of sinking. And Doug Peterson, I mean, they just went to the playoffs not long ago, the Jacksonville Jaguars. So what in the world has happened? They have Trevor Lawrence. They have a lot of their pieces. They haven't lost a lot. So I don't know what is going on down there. They have good talent. What is going on in Jacksonville? I have a good friend that's a Jacksonville Jaguars fan, and he's even perplexed at what's going on down there. So I don't know if it's the coaching, the offensive coordinator, the defensive coordinator, but something's not clicking. And when something's not clicking and you're playing this bad after making a playoff appearance, I do feel that it's time to look at new and fresh ideas. And that usually is the head coach that brings in those new, fresh ideas. Maybe it's time for a new coaching staff in Jacksonville because those fans and those players deserve a lot better than what's going on in that situation. So, and yeah, I don't know anyone else I would add. I know right now the Titans aren't doing too hot. So their coach, and they just got a new coach. They're not doing too hot. There's a lot of teams not playing up to their potential. You have Carolina. That's still a hot mess down there. They go between wanting Andy Dalton starting to Bryce Young starting to Andy to Bryce. It's like ping pong of quarterbacks. So, yeah, there's a lot of teams out there that need to really look at where they're going, or maybe it's time to get rid of a team, Carolina. But anyway, that's the drama in the NFL this week, and it was fun talking about it. So we'll have to keep an eye on what happens in Miami with Tua. We're going to have to see what happens in Kansas City with DeAndre Hopkins. And we'll have to see if some coaches do end up on that chopping block. So anyway, Jacksonville ownership group cares bupkis about football. It's all about the money. I think you're definitely right there, Anthony. I totally agree.